Welcome to this session of Hatha and Yin blend, focusing on stiff bodies. And then as you're ready to, we're going to make our way into child's pose. Uncrossing the legs if they were crossed, taking the buttocks back to the heels and bringing the knees a little bit apart, not so far that you'll destabilize, just enough so that the inside edges of the torso can rest on the inner thigh. And then let yourself come forward. You might like to stack your fists and rest your forehead on your fists. You might have enough space in the body that you can bring your forehead all the way to the floor. Maybe you have your arms a little outstretched. Maybe you have them out to the side, or maybe you have them back beside your legs. So you get to choose where you want to be in this child. Taking a last breath or two here. Notice if there's anything else you can let go of, whether mental or physical. As you next inhale, lift yourself out of child's pose, coming back into tabletop. And bring your whole body down to rest on the floor. Bringing the belly down. You can let your arms come forward and cradle your head on your hands, or you can rest your arms down beside you and turn your head to one side. Like a lovely rebound, letting the whole body surrender to the earth. And noticing how you're feeling, the different parts of your body that you can become aware of. How does it feel now compared to the start of the class? And as you inhale, lift up enough so that you can bring your arms out in front of you along the floor. You're going to work into opposite arm and leg lifting, into a slight Salabhasana variation. If you want to just do the arms or just do the legs, that's an option as well if it's too strong for you to do both. On your next inhalation, raise the right arm and the left leg. As you exhale, gently lower them down. Inhale, lift the left arm and the right leg. Exhale, lower them down. Alternate a few more times, going at your own speed, staying longer if you want to. You can lift a little further through the chest if that works for you, but only so that you can feel the muscles in the lower back switching on, but not becoming strained. You try and engage the muscles in the back, but without overworking them. It's not very pleasant to have a sore back the next day. Although it's a good soreness, it's still not always ideal. One more time to each side. And bend the elbows, support the forehead on the hands and rest for a moment. Let the legs roll out wherever they're comfortable. Bring your hands to either side of your chest. We're going to inhale and lift up into a little baby cobra. Exhale and flow back down, bringing the forehead to the floor. Inhale, head comes up, chest comes up. Elbows stay bent, and then exhale, flow back down. We're lifting and lowering up into a cobra and then back down to the earth, using the breath as our guide. And not taking ourselves too far. Again, just feeling that you're accessing the muscles in your back without overstraining them, without overworking them. This time as you lift up, pause, and then exhale, look over your left shoulder. Inhale back to center, and exhale, look over the opposite shoulder. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, let yourself come down. One more time, inhale, lift up. We're going to do it the opposite way this time. Looking over the right shoulder first. Inhale back to center. Exhale over the left shoulder. Inhale back to center. And then exhale, gently release down. Let your arms rest beside you. They could have been doing quite a lot of the work. Often our arms are easier to switch on than our back muscles. So a bit more weight comes into them. The arms have a little break. And as you next exhale, bring the hands to either side of your chest. Push into your hands, lift back to tabletop. And from here, we're going to come into shoelace position. Slide your left knee forward towards the center of your mat. And then inch the right leg back enough so that you've got room to take that left foot across to the right side of your mat. Tuck your right knee up behind the left knee. And then we're going to sit down between those legs. Now, for some people, this is just too intense to get the buttocks to the floor. So you can use a blanket or a block or a bolster or anything you have at hand, a pillow, a cushion. This pose can also be too intense for many people. And if it is, the easiest way to make it less intense is to straighten the bottom leg and just have the top leg, the left leg, bent over top of it. Or maybe even standing that foot on the floor. So that is an option if shoelace pose isn't for you. Take your arms and stretch them out to either side, thumbs facing down. Bend the left arm and bring the back of the hand up the spine. Take your right hand in front of you and rotate it so the little finger side is uppermost. Inhale, lift that arm up, bend the elbow, and see if your fingers or your hands can mate. If they can, you can hook your fingers together. If they can't, you don't need to worry about doing anything, just reach them in the direction of each other. Or if you need to have something to hold on to, you can use a strap or your jumper or anything that's at hand. Soften the belly. Relax through the shoulders. Keep the breath flowing. Notice what's going on through your bottom arm and your top arm. The top elbow should be pointing towards the ceiling or working in the direction of the ceiling. The bottom elbow can do a couple of different things. We can take it back behind us. For some bodies, that will be beneficial for the shoulder opening. For me, it needs to be working towards my legs so that my shoulder blade then flattens into my body and I'm lifting and opening the front part of the left shoulder. It can be really tempting to stick out the rib cage to try and get the hands to meet. Try and resist that temptation and keep the rib cage softly pulled in, not so much that you're cutting off the ability for the oxygen to flow through the torso, but enough so that you're not arcing your back. And as you exhale, gently release the arms, stretch them out, give the shoulders a little roll. Take a breath in here, lift through the chest, and as you exhale, twist to the left, bringing your right hand across or your right arm across the top bent leg. This works even if the bottom leg is straight. The left hand can be behind you and let yourself lift away from that hand. So we're not dropping back towards it, but maintaining a lovely erect spine. You can look out over your left shoulder. And you can keep your head in line with your chest. And then next inhalation, bring yourself back to the front. And we're going to do a little bit of an interesting maneuver before we come into the other side. So lean back and uncross your legs and then lift the feet off the floor, reaching the arms forward if you can, or you can hold the legs if you need to. And then we're going to do a little bit of a cycling to one side, cycling with the arms and the legs, and then rolling onto the other hip and cycling that way. So you are moving in the direction of your outer hip and moving the legs, moving the arms, doing something a little funky if you want to, just finding that work in the belly as you cycle. And then coming to stillness, we're going to go into shoelace on the other side. Pick up your left foot and take it under the body so that the heel is towards the right hip. And then bring your right leg and cross it over the top. Again, if shoelace doesn't work for you, straighten the bottom leg and just have the top leg bent, or maybe the top leg standing on the floor. Bring your arms out to either side, facing the thumbs down towards the floor. Bend the right elbow and take the back of that hand up the spine as far as it's comfortable. And bring your left arm in front, rotate that palm so the little finger is uppermost. Inhale, lift the arm up, bending the elbow and taking hold of the fingers if you comfortably can. Relax your belly, let the lower ribs pull in slightly so that those floating ribs aren't pushing forward and the spine is relatively neutral. Pointing the top elbow up towards the ceiling or in that direction. Make sure it's not pushing into your head. Give yourself enough space that the neck isn't being altered in its position. And then work into the right shoulder as you need to. For me, that means pulling the elbow forward a little bit and energetically lifting and rolling that front of the right shoulder back. You might find the side is a little harder than the other if you're right-handed. Keep the breath moving through your body. As you next exhale, release your arms. Groan it out if you need to. That can be really intense, that pose. Stretch the arms or roll the shoulders, whatever you need to do. Take a breath in here, and as you exhale, we're twisting to the right this time. Left arm being used as leverage outside the knee. Right hand behind you, supporting on the floor, but also lifting away from the floor. So we're trying to lengthen up and away from that back arm. The belly's relaxed enough so that we can breathe here. You want to give your diaphragm room to contract downward. Breathing into the belly. As you next inhale, gently unwind yourself, bringing your torso to the front. Lean back onto your hands and unwind your legs. And we're going to come into that weird kind of Navasana or boat pose. Lift the feet off the floor, reach the hands forward, lift through the chest. And you can stay here in stillness. If you don't want to move, don't feel you have to. But if you kind of liked cycling the arms and the legs, rolling to one hip, then back through center, rolling to the other hip, then join me in some weird movement. Keeping the breath moving, keeping the chest lifted and the spine long. You can go really slow, like it's a slow-mo moving. Or you can go a little bit faster if that works for you. And then bring the legs and cross them, take a breath in. And as you exhale, fold down over the legs, softening the front body, rounding the back body. Deep, slow breath. Let yourself sink into this forward fold. If you can notice your heartbeat. If you can notice the blood pumping around your body. And as you inhale, bring yourself back up to center. Stretch the legs out away from you for a moment. And take some circles with the ankles, or maybe windshield wiper the legs in and out, or the feet in and out, letting the legs follow. Maybe paddle the feet backwards and forwards. And then bring the right knee in towards your chest. Open that knee out to the side, and you might want to open up the angle between your two thighs a little bit more. Rather than having your torso facing your left leg, have the legs out to each side, your torso facing between them. Bring your left hand, the back of the hand, to the inside of the left leg and start to stretch it away from you. So our torso is now revolved to face the right bent leg. The left arm is stretching along the left leg, and the left waist is coming towards the thigh. Inhale, raise the right arm, take it up overhead if that's comfortable for you. Or if it puts too much strain on your body, bring the right arm behind your back. The downside of teaching yoga via video is that I can't see the grimace on your face. I can't come around and say, hey, you're taking this too deep. So it's your responsibility to listen to your body, to see where it is, to notice what it needs, and not to take it too far. If the head and neck is willing, you may be able to rest your left ear towards your left shoulder. And then as you exhale, let your right arm come forward to the floor and walk yourself around so that you are folding down between your legs. Let your left leg relax. Sink your belly towards your right heel. Relax through the shoulders. In this pose, we're stimulating the inside of the back of the leg. So we worked the central area of the hamstring and the outer area of the hamstring in the half monkey. Now we're getting into the front and inside of the hamstring area. Getting into the adductors as well. And as you inhale, next lift yourself back to center, bringing the right leg up and the left leg to meet it. Stretching those legs out again. Left knee comes in this time, open that knee out to the side. Find yourself in a central position, facing halfway between your two thighs. Bring the right hand, the outside of the hand, to the inside of your leg, and start to stretch it away from you, laterally flexing the spine in the direction of that right leg. You can inhale and raise the left arm up overhead, giving us our little ballerina arms, or you can keep that arm towards the back of the body. So you set the pace here. When the arm is up and overhead, it's a lot stronger. There's a lot more weight for your body to maintain. And it can be too intense for that top shoulder. So listen and only go to that place that's appropriate for you. Maybe dropping your right ear towards your right shoulder. Maybe keeping the neck in line with the spine. And on your next exhalation, let your left arm come forward in front of you. And walk your body so that you are halfway between the right thigh and the left thigh. Fold down towards the earth, either using your elbows or your hands to support you. Relax the right leg and feel the sensation onto the inside of the back of the thigh and the inside of the thigh. Getting into the adductors as well as the inner hamstring. And as you next inhale, gently begin to lift yourself back up to center, bringing your knees up, And coming down to lie on your back. Bring the knees in towards the chest, hug them in. A little rock from side to side. And when you're ready to, stretch your limbs out and prepare your body for Shavasana. Use some height under the knees and under the head if it's needed. Use a blanket over your body to keep the body temperature warm. Maybe put on some socks or a jumper. Let everything sink down. Nothing to do. Nowhere to go. Just breathe. Releasing your focus on your breathing. Begin to prepare your body for movement. Starting small, wriggling fingers and toes. Building up. You can stretch out your arms and your legs. When you're ready to, bending your knees. Either bringing the knees into your chest and then rolling to your side. Or if you prefer to, make your way directly up to sitting. Bring your hands into prayer position in front of the heart space. In honour of your practice, Namaste.